Welcome everybody back to the channel. I hope you're all having a good week and a good weekend. So the topic of this video is, should motorhomes be banned from overnight parking in towns, etc. So up and down the country, a lot of councils are banning overnight stays of campervans, motorhomes and caravans. Now, I was watching a YouTube video by the curb, I think it's called, and the guy he sort of lives in his motorhome full time, I think, and he was saying that Bridlington, where he stays or where he normally books, has told him that there's no more overnight parking. So I thought, let's have a look into this. Now, I live in Bridlington, and I've seen the areas where motorhomes are parked, and I thought, let's dig a bit deeper. So up and down the country, people, motorhomes, vans, car conversions, etc., are all being stopped from parking mainly on council car parks. There's various reasons why, what they're inciting. One I read was a fire risk, so if the motorhomes, etc., are parked too closely, that's a fire risk. The other one was environmental concerns, and some are down to complaints. So what do you think, viewers? Should motorhomes, caravans, etc. be stopped from overnight parking? Now, here's my thoughts. So, living in Bridlington, you've got the seabirds in the town that started to allow motorhomes and that stay overnight. Now, that pub was under new management recently, so I'm not sure if they own it or manage it. However, obviously, to drive extra income, they're allowing people to stay overnight in their car park. So this is private property, not a council. Another one is the Ship at Sewerby. That's a bit more out of town. It has like a grass field bit. They do own the land as well, and they allow parking there overnight. And I think the thing is if they allow parking, you have to use the pub and everything for food, which I think is quite reasonable. So a couple of these bans have been put into place. So I thought, let's have a look. So I contacted Bridlington Town Council, and I got actually quite a nice response back. And what I got back was, "Good morning, David. Unfortunately, I'm not aware of the ban and where it has come from. Is it legislation from the council?" So we have our local council, but we also have East Riding Council, which is the main one, so it may have come from them, or possibly the landowner themselves. So they basically said you need to contact the pub and see the reasoning behind this, or East Riding Council. Now, from what I understand, that there was a complaint made. Now, one of the complaints that I think does surface a few times is antisocial behaviour and rubbish. Now, up the road from us we have Scarborough, and last year they put a ban on overnight parking along the seafront. So this particular part of Scarborough, you've got a cafe there, I think a little bar there. Now, you get people in motorhomes, you get surfers, you get bikers. So all these people are contributing to the local economy. Now, from what I could see there and in Bridlington, there was no rubbish and there was no antisocial behaviour. In fact, you usually get more antisocial behaviour by people in cars gone to McDonald's than throw their rubbish out the cars. So the question is, should it be banned? Well, I did a recent poll, and 67% of people said no, 33% said yes. And I can see my wife in the background there. Hello, Kaz, come over here. My wife's been busy cleaning her car. Totally. Got a question for you.
Oh, God.
Question. So, you know, I mentioned to you that motorhomes and campers have been banned from overnight stays at the Seabirds and some other areas around Bridlington. What do you think?
There's pros and cons. Obviously, cons is congestion, stops other people parking in there. It obviously restricts the amount of people that you can use it. However, on the plus side, it will encourage tourism, encourage more people to come and visit, and if they've got somewhere where they can park within easy access of the town and they're not having to walk miles or use another vehicle or get a taxi or whatever, that's a bonus as well. Seabirds has been under about 3 different management now. So from what I can see is they're trying to diverse in order to obviously bring an income so they don't go bust again. Which I thought was quite innovative of them, and it encouraged obviously business to them, because obviously not everybody wants to cook in their motorhome. So if you're parked in a pub car park where they serve food, more business, it encourages more business. So yeah, I mean, you know, we're in a sort of well at the moment where, you know, you've got to do anything to try and drum up business, because pubs are closing left, right and centre, and so are shops and high streets. And you know, if we can diverse anyway, even if it's by encouraging motorhomes to park in certain designated areas, then why not diversify? Why not encourage business to the town, tourism? You know, yeah, there are caravan parks, not everybody wants to or can afford caravan parks. Lots of caravan parks, especially during holiday season, are like £600, £700, £800 plus.
And they're fully booked.
Yeah, but who can afford that? You know, who can afford that now with electric going up, gas going up, council tax going up, water going up? You know, tariffs now apparently on businesses. Businesses now having to restrict their employees because they're having to pay higher national insurance, higher wage bills. So, you know, there's everything going against businesses, everything going against it totally. People are moaning that, oh, the high street's diminishing and all. Well, you know, you need to do something to try and encourage growth. And if Seabirds, if that was their way of encouraging growth, then so be it. Wasn't hurting anybody, as long as, you know, there's not the car parks are not left like looking like a tip.
Yeah, but we haven't. I mean, we go to Scarborough a lot where they have parking, and we walk past the Seabirds all the time. We haven't seen loads of rubbish.
No, we haven't.
In fact, you get more rubbish from people in cars outside McDonald's chucking it out the window. So are they going to ban that? Now, I think since COVID, the world has changed. The way people look at work, how they live. So you've got more people living on the canals. You've got more people doing like van conversions and living in them, in motorhomes. Several reasons for that, I think. One is the price of housing, especially around the London area. And people have found after COVID, maybe they're not so materialistic. Maybe they don't want all the things, but the problem is the way our society works, the way our government works, it's based on debt. So it wants you to be in debt by having a mortgage, paying your taxes and all that sort of thing. And I think some people are struggling with the change, that now people are looking for a different lifestyle. You know, you've got the gig economy, you've got digital nomads, all that kind of thing. And, you know, people will say, like doing YouTube, if you earn an income off YouTube, that's not a real job. Well, it is. You're working, you're still paying your tax through, it's like a business. So the world has changed, and the way we live, the way we work has completely changed. Now, for me, I'm all for the parking on pub car parks. So I'll give it a thumbs up. Kaz?
I'm on the fence.
On the fence.
On the fence.
On the fence.
I'm not against it, but I'm on the fence with it as to sort of how many pubs do we let do that. But yeah, I mean, you know, as I said, the Seabirds have gone under about 3 times now. If that's the only way they can figure out to try and drum up their own business, then why not? If it's their business, why not? As long as that it's not intruding, it's not an eyesore, because it's a car park, for crying out loud. So you know, there's going to be either cars on it, vans on it, trucks on it, whatever. But if that's the only way they can drum up business and keep themselves afloat, then we should be encouraging that, surely.
No different from a truck stop, though, is it?
Well, I mean, you look at the ship. They've got a piece of land at the back of them that motorhomes and vans can park at. So why is it different for the seabirds? Just because it's in the town rather than at the top of the town?
Yeah, but this is happening up and down the country. And another thing I noticed was around London, where people are living on canal boats. They have to pay an annual fee, etc. But the boroughs of around London are looking to tax them additionally. So, and again, a lot of these people are living on narrow boats and working, but they can't afford £1 million flat or whatever, you know, because of the prices. So I'm for it. My wife's sitting on the fence. What do you think? Leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. Please subscribe, and we'll see you soon.
And let us know how it is by your end.
Yes. Bye.